Alright guys, welcome back to another video on the Intelligent Investor channel. Today we're going to be talking about Coinbase. We're going to talk about the response that the SEC gave to Coinbase that I don't think is going to be a surprise to anybody what we're going to be seeing. We're going to be talking about the Coinbase stock, where the price was just a few years ago, where the price is today, and what potential the Coinbase stock has in the future and what difficulties it might face. We'll also be going over news of how people are blaming the crypto space for the fall of the recent banks. So for all this and more, I recommend you stay to the end. So if you would like to watch more content like this, videos that has to do with the crypto space, the blockchain space in general, please don't forget to hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so I can let you know when I drop the next one. So as you can see, today Coinbase is around 60 bucks per stock. We hit an all-time low in January of this year. Coinbase dropped to around $32.50, and the highest Coinbase has ever been was the day that it launched, around $420. So we're going to come back to this Coinbase price chart in a minute. What I want to go over first is what was the response of the SEC towards Coinbase. Coinbase a few weeks ago, they made a video where they requested that the SEC answer a few questions that they had, and they also told them that they need clarity for the crypto space so that they can keep operating and offer new products to their clients. So let's go over what the SEC said. It's a very short article, so we will get through it in no time. The SEC has responded to Coinbase's request for clear crypto regulation in court, saying that it has no duty to issue new rules for the industry and that it may take a long time to do so. The SEC also claimed that Coinbase's petition was too broad and complex, and that it had not given enough time for the SEC to consider it. Coinbase had filed a petition for mandamus, asking the court to compel the SEC to answer whether it will undertake rulemaking for the crypto sector. The SEC asked the court to reject the petition, saying that mandamus was an extraordinary remedy and that Coinbase had no right to it. Paul Grewal, Coinbase chief legal officer, expressed his disappointment with the SEC's response on Twitter. He said that the SEC admitted that it will rely on enforcement actions instead of rulemaking for the foreseeable future, and that it disregarded the public statements of its chair Gary Gensler, who has said that there were enough rules in place and that most of crypto was a security. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, many of us thought that this was probably the moment where we will have some type of clarity, but it should be no surprise what the SEC says, because again, they're just avoiding answers. This is the same thing that happened when Gary Gensler, the chair of the SEC, appeared in front of the US courts just a few weeks ago, and in no way, type of form did he give a yes or no response. So this is nothing new. It appears that the SEC is again trying to stall on crypto regulation. They say that they have no duty to issue new rules. Well, the question for them is, then who has the duty to issue new rules if it's not them? They're the ones who are trying to give lawsuits to different companies for trying to offer their customers products. This has led to Coinbase having to shut down their lending program in the last few weeks because they have no clarity from the SEC. And I'm assuming they was hoping to at least get some type of better response, but they were not able to do so. So let's now talk a little bit about the Coinbase stock. As you can see, it's at 60 bucks today, and yes, it seems like a terrible chart, but there are far worse charts for things that are not in the crypto space that we will see later on in this video. Coinbase has been essentially moving around the same price since May of 2022, and that's about to be exactly a year from now. And if you ask me, this whole consolidation period is good for Coinbase because it's not like they're disappearing anytime soon, or at least it doesn't seem that way. Yes, they entered a battle against the SEC, which many people say was probably the stupidest thing that they did, because you don't want to fight with the SEC. It's going to make investors, it's going to make institutional money not want to have their money there, because nobody wants to be in the middle of a legal fight, especially with the SEC, who are the people who make regulations. You don't want to be on their target sheet. But on the other side, somebody had to do it. And if not Coinbase, then who? In my opinion, Coinbase is one of the safest companies, or one of the safest exchanges where you can have your money in it, where you can have your Bitcoin stored in it. I mean, they're a public company. They have to report their filings every 3 months. So we know that they're in good standing, or we're going to know that they're in bad standing. So in my opinion, there's not much more transparency when it comes to crypto than Coinbase. Now, although the price for Coinbase stock is up today, if we look at the volume of price and how it's been moving, you can see that it's negative. This obviously doesn't mean that automatically the price is going to drop, but I don't feel too safe about it. And I'm a Coinbase stock holder. I'm somebody who bought on the day that they launched the stock, which obviously wasn't a good idea on my part. I guess a little bit of FOMO getting into there, but I have learned my lesson with the time. I also liquidated more than half of my position, around $200, a little bit above, and since then you can see that Coinbase dropped. I also bought Coinbase when it got below the $40 price mark, and you can see that those positions are in profit. Pretty sure that overall I'm still in the loss, but I think I'm closer to that break even with the amount of stock that I bought down here. Now, I definitely do plan on staying on Coinbase for the foreseeable future. If at some point I feel like Coinbase is not going to make it through this battle, or they're just going to keep dropping products that they're offering, then I might get out of my position. But for now, I'm going to be hodling, or as people like to say, holding on for dear life for Coinbase. I like the company, and I usually pay more attention to companies I'm invested in than I'm not. This is one of those where, yes, I'm in a loss, but I'm going to hold. Usually I will cut my losses, but for Coinbase, I feel like it will be a good idea to hold for now. Now, the only other article I wanted to go over, which is kind of similar with the same news, is how the FDIC is trying to blame crypto for the failure of the banks we just had, or at least for Silvergate Bank. We're only going to read the top part, and it says, the demise of Signature Bank was caused by a combination of factors, including poor management, liquidity problems, and exposure to the volatile crypto industry. This was the view of the FDIC chairman Martin Gruenberg, who testified before the House Financial Services Committee on oversight of prudential regulators. Gruenberg cited the recent case of Silicon Valley Bank and Silvergate Bank, which also collapsed due to massive withdrawals by their customers. These withdrawals were triggered by fears about the bank's solvency and their involvement in the crypto sector. According to a report by the FDIC Chief Risk Officer, Signature Bank failed to manage its risk properly and relied too much on uninsured deposits from the crypto industry. While some bank executives blamed the rising interest rates for their downfall, Gruenberg argued that no bank could survive a bank run of such speed and magnitude. And obviously, they're trying to blame the crypto for why people were withdrawing the money, or they're trying to blame crypto for such volatility and obviously their assets amount dropping. Now, I don't know if you guys can see what's happening here, but this kind of seems like a coordinated attack on crypto. I mean, this did not just start happening. There has been a coordinated attack on crypto for some years now. Anything bad that happens in the financial market somehow comes back to bite crypto in the behind. And in my opinion, this is the SEC trying to protect the banks. This is the banks trying to protect their own interests, because who loses from people taking their money out of their traditional accounts and putting it in a meme coin or putting it in Bitcoin or in a decentralized exchange? The banks. So they're trying to protect their own. At least this is the way I see it. And this is why we keep getting attacks on the crypto industry. I mean, they're trying to put the blame of the banks on crypto. And if we go and see how these banks have been moving, they look like meme coins. I put this post on my Spanish channel and I asked, what meme coin is this? And as you can see in the picture, this is not a meme coin. This is the First Republic Bank. All right, if this was to happen to Bitcoin, every CEO bank will be coming on and saying, I told you guys, crypto is not safe. But when we see it with major banks happening, they say that it's something normal. It's something that happened because of interest rates. It happened because of crypto. It happened because Joe Biden scratched his left ear. It happens for any reason except avoiding the fact that banks are also high risk now. Why? Because they operate with fractional funds. They only need to have a fraction of the amount that people have deposited at any time. How is that not high risk? Okay, now if we go and we compare this chart to, let's say, a Bitcoin, right? Because we could talk about meme coins, we could talk about Shiba coins, all you want. But at the end of the day, everybody knows that the top coin and the main coin that people are betting on is Bitcoin. This Bitcoin chart, although we could see it has some major falls, doesn't look too much different of any company that's going through a downturn. Bitcoin has rose from 60K. It has almost duplicated its price. If you in December, November would have bought Silvergate Bank, or if you would have bought One Republic Bank stock, you will be at a major loss, probably 98% loss. But if you have bought Bitcoin in November, you would have doubled your money. And we can't say that for any other asset class. And I mean, this has been the story for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been the best performing asset ever, year after year since its inception. So there's not really much blame we can throw in crypto in general, because these banks are over risking. Yes, crypto is risky, but everybody knows that. What everybody doesn't know is that the banks are equally risky, because they also take on big risks that get exposed whenever interest rates go up or whenever people have to withdraw their money. If today people go to Coinbase and they can't withdraw their Bitcoin, we will see all over the news article how Coinbase is insolvent, how the crypto market in general is insolvent. But when it happened with the banks, we hear excuse after excuse of why this is normal, why this happened with banks, why we shouldn't panic. So I just feel like it's a continuous coordinated attack. and I don't think this is the last we will see of it. But what I will say is that in general, Bitcoin is holding strong. I mean, Bitcoin hasn't dropped to lower levels than 16K, it hasn't gone back to 10K, even with everything wrong we have seen in the last year. And in my opinion, that just makes me bullish for crypto in the long run. It could be 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 12 to 18 months after the Bitcoin halving in 2024 is usually when we see that big bull run. And I think it's going to happen. If we're not dropping to the lower levels and crypto is taking all the blame for everything that's been going on, I don't see how this cannot be a good bet in the next 2 to 3 years. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think that at some point we're going to get some type of clarity from the SEC. Let me know why you think that the SEC doesn't want to give us clarity. I mean, I have my own opinions. I watch a few videos that also help me generate better opinions, but I'd like to know what you think about this whole matter. Why do you think that they're not giving us more clarity? And what do you think is the future of crypto in general? If you like this video, you would like to see other content that has to do with other cryptos, you would like to know what's going on in the crypto space in general, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so I can let you know when I drop the next one. I'm planning on making a group soon in Discord just for this channel so that we could talk about different pairs. I'll be sending different analysis of different pairs that I'm looking at, things that I'm trading along the week, and a few cryptos that I think have big potential in the future. So for all that and much more, I'll see you in the following videos.